individual process. You won't see him in some of the teamwork today like we had discussed yesterday, but we'll follow along that process. But that was some great news. He has absolutely busted his ass to do everything he can to get ready, so what a great sign for him. On a second transaction, FA will be on PUP as he's still coming back from his injury and making progress, but that's how we'll start the camp. What you'll see at practice today from emphasis is going to be a lot of red zone, and I touched on that yesterday, but as we're starting the training camp to go, good bit of red zone work, so most all of the team things that you'll see today will have a red zone emphasis with it. And with all that, glad to open up to you guys.
Hey, Dan, with Johnny, how much has this helped him be able to come off right away because he missed so much of the spring, and what are the plans for him moving forward?
One, we're pleased that it was now. In my head, I thought it would be later, but just because of the progress he made, we were able to speed some of that up, so that was good to see. Think of the first little bit of his training camp that's his off-season training, the technique work to go, then get into practice, and then go. So we're playing where we got some space and some runway to make sure he doesn't miss one step of his development.
Dan, with regards to the red zone, just what is it specifically? Obviously, we look for the ball getting the end zone, but like what for you is kind of the important aspects to start off camp with?
Twofold. One, we thought there would be better player safety than the long running of the first part to go. Secondly, things happen much more quickly. The route, the field, the locations, where it goes. So seeing that type of communication early, we thought that would be a good way to just go. There's scramble plays that happen down in the red zone. So it's such an important part of what we do. We didn't want to wait.
You have the eye in the sky for all of practice.
Right.
They know that everything they do is on tape. What is it that the young guys who are trying to make the squad, what can't you see?
I think what you can't see what has to be at the top of the pile, Chick, it has to be about effort first. And if you get that part right, then everything else can go in. But I think at the top of the pile, man, it better be effort and seeing our speed and things to go. Because if I don't see the speed, does he not know or can he not go? And so that has to be, you can correct a mistake, but you can't correct someone not going. And so that's the part that has to be at the top of the pile.
Coach, you guys are staying off-site as a team. This is the first time it's been a couple of years since this franchise has stayed off-site to begin a training camp. Why is that important in terms of team building, and why is that kind of what can be accomplished in that type of setting?
I think there's a lot that can be, and we're fortunate through Josh that we're able to do that, and have everybody together. There's some chemistry, there's connections that take place after meetings, at the hotel, breakfast, meals together, that type of thing. So it'll be important. The time together that we have is so intense. That's what training camp is. And so to have everybody close by, here, back to it, it pays dividends much like a road trip for a few days would.
Hi, Dan. When did Johnny have his most recent physical that he passed?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Afternoon.
And how much can that help, especially a rookie, just getting acclimated to everything and being involved from the jump of training camp? How much can that help him?
It can help a lot. He's so ready to go. He's got such a prove-it mentality to him that what it's assuring is that there's no missteps along the way. We're hopeful that he could get back soon, and so to have it now and all the night walkthroughs and all the install that goes with that, that's a big deal. And so we're really pumped that he's able to start with us. He's really worked hard at it.
Just to clarify, he will participate in the walkthroughs as well? Okay.
He's back.
Considering it's the first day, no pads, and you're doing a lot of red zone, do you tell Jaden, hey, we want you to stay in the pocket a little bit longer, or do you want him to kind of treat it like normal? How does he approach red zone period like this?
There'll be some times where all the QBs, we may say, if the look's not there, you go quickly because there's a second play that then takes place. So not necessarily on the first day, but throughout a 7-on-7 or a team period, if they've had a rep of that one earlier, hey, on this one, let's get out. If it's not there, let's get out and go. So you do have to script it. You don't want to let the other players know. You don't want to let a receiver know, hey, we're going to scramble here, or let a defense know. It has to be reactionary for the scramble to work because there's designated places where you go to the route. So if you're already planning on a scramble, you won't execute the first part of the play.
With everything kicking off today and with everybody together last night at the hotel, what was your message to the guys to start this thing?
Just that a little bit of what I told you yesterday, there's a lot that we want to get accomplished regarding identity, over the next 6 weeks to go. And that type of work and championship standards and everything that we do, knowing that it'll be challenging and it'll be tough and demanding, but it's also going to be a blast and we're going to have a great time. So those two things can go together. Their connection will be what makes it. It's not an offense or a defense or a special teams. We're one group. We compete hard with one another, but at the end of it, we're all competing for the same team. And so always remembering that too.
And you've coached against Zach Ertz for a long time. What do you expect him at this age to bring to this group?
One, the leadership part for him has been, I thought it would be good, and it was remarkable, quite honestly. But the route running, the detail of that, the emphasis on third down, he's not here to coach, but he has a presence about him of standards, of ways to go that other people can look to emulate. And then past that, in the passing game, he has a very good awareness, how to play zone, how to play man, the nuances of a route. So I've been very pleased with what I've seen so far.
Hey, Dan, as a defensive guy, how big a deal is it to generate a pass rush and find different ways to generate that? This team didn't necessarily do that all that well last year.
Yeah, affecting the quarterback has to be at the top of what you want to do defensively, right behind, taking the ball away and tackling well. You don't always want to be able to have to bring 5 or 6 to generate pressure and pass rush. So when you can get there with 4 and affect the quarterback and get him out of the pocket or, change where he has to go set his feet, that's what we're looking for. How many times can that happen? How quickly can someone disrupt the QB and get timing off? So much like a cornerback who could reroute a receiver, a defensive end, or a tackle who could make the quarterback then have to adjust, that's a really big piece. And it'll take time. And we've been waiting for training camp for the offensive line and the defensive line, because so much of their work is in pads, and it'll be over this next 6 weeks that a lot of their evaluation will take place.
Hi, Coach. With everyone staying off-site together, with everyone reporting yesterday, what has the energy been like from the players, and what has their reaction been like as you embark on this period?
The couple things coming into the building, saw some new meeting rooms and new areas for them, their excitement for that, and then just having everybody together, there's an energy that goes with that. I've been to some camps where you come in not tired, but here we go, again, and it's been just the opposite here. And so to see that kind of energy, the guys, so excited to be around one another. Quite honestly, they were here a little early, and 2 days ago, can I go in the meeting? Yes, go, say hello to the guys. So to say that they wanted to get going, that told me a lot about their connection so far.
Coach, when you're evaluating the offense in the red zone, when you're looking at quarterbacks, are you trying to see, are they being aggressive? Are they going to try to make a play? Or do you want them to protect the ball, see what they're doing? So where's the balance there when you're evaluating the offense in the red zone?
Yeah, I think you're talking about the decision-making process. That's such a big deal to know I can fit this throw in here, or that's not a good one. Because there could be a completion on one like, man, was that the right call? So when you get done each day, it's easy to do just a regular, completion percentage or accuracy, but what was the decision-making, process that went along with it? But it is the time that you have to push yourself to see if you can make some plays on certain aspects of things, offensively, defensively. If you never push those boundaries to see what you are capable of, you'll never know how far you can take it in a game, because you certainly don't want to be risk-adverse where you're so tight that you don't want to make a play, but there also has to be the balance. So it's more of the decision-making, and those are some things that we'll evaluate. So having the chance to do more red zone work this training camp, it'll be quite a bit. I want them to feel that time. I got to explore, I got to experiment with some things, and then you can move some levers to say, can't do that, can do this.
Dan, with so much newness in the building, new coaches, new players, how do you try to balance, a sense of patience with a sense of we're playing football in a couple weeks, we want to have that sense of urgency as well?
Yeah, I'm not the best on patience. I'll say that. Because somebody asked me over the summer, rebuild, and that feels like real estate to me. That's why I said recalibrate. It's not a rebuilding. We're not buying an old house. It's how quickly can we get to become good at so many different parts of our football. So I'm just the opposite of patience, to be honest with you. I wanted urgency in all that we're doing, but it takes a lot of prep behind the scenes to go out and execute, because if the execution and the communication is not game-like, how could you perform in the game well if you're not pushing those standards out on the practice field? So out here, it should be as competitive and game-like as we can while taking care of one another. But as far as down patience to go, that's not part of what I talked to the team about at all.
Hi, Coach. With Fox 5, what secrets from the Cowboys did you share? I'm just kidding. Quick question, similar to the previous one, having to do with fans saying they want to see a lot of wins, they want to see the team gel quickly. On the other end of it, what do you speak or say to fans about expectations and how you view success?
Yeah, I think number one, the expectations I don't really talk about other than, there's going to be a lot of winning here that's done. And you can't put the winning before the standards and the championship habits that you create together. And so that's what this time is for. So in all that we do, I expect to see championship standards, the way we meet, the way we practice, the way we communicate. When those things take place, the winning goes. So as far as the expectations, I'm hopeful that every time you and our families and friends watch us play, so these guys absolutely bring it. And that part of our energy, if we get that right, and championship standards and the execution, the wins will take care of themselves. But there's so many things right now that I want to get accomplished with identity. We'll talk about that later. Oh, I knew somebody was going to take it. You're not just going to allow it to go on the first day.
Just everybody's reporting now. Do you pay attention when you fly to holdouts, bump lists, any of that, or just too early?
No. Yeah.
What does this day mean for you after not being the head coach a couple years and without getting back to it?
Well, I'd say like starting something anew, there's an energy that goes with that. And so to be able to do it with the people here and already, in a short amount of time to have a connection build that usually would have taken much longer, there's a lot of excitement for that because I have a lot of belief in the people in a short amount of time to see what that can be. So yeah, there's a lot of excitement and putting something together with people that you really care about, it's as fun as you could ever think. So this is absolutely the right spot and the right place with the right people. So let's go let it rip.
Last one. Dan, you talked about how for this session now the line play is going to be obviously more of a focus on pads. What's the ramp-up plan before we get the pads for the line?
Well, for everybody, it's pretty similar. Just helmets, and then it goes to helmets and some soft pads. They're called shells to go, and you ramp up, and then you begin the contact. So think of it as like a tiered system to go. It's also like some volume on the field. How long would we go? And you'll see the practices will get longer as we go. So it truly is a ramp up. All right, thank you guys. Have a good one.